Hello, this is Denise Hill bringing you my diversity workshop presentation under the category gender. There is a difference in between gender and sex. One that was, when I think of gender, I always just thought of man and woman, the difference between the two. But there is a difference that I found doing this research. Such as sex is the biological in nature and determines one's biological destiny, such as the ability to bear children. Gender helps define one's role with society. It is psychological, social, cultural, and behavioral characteristics associated with being male or female. It is a learned characteristic based on one's gender identity and a learned gender role. Many stereotypes come with gender identity or being a gender and boy or a girl. They begin in early childhood where boys are told that we should be playing with boys. They should be playing with trucks and cars and army men and absolutely not playing with any dolls. And girls are expected to be playing with girls. The same kind of thing happens in adulthood, where the females might have more barriers than males when we're climbing up the corporate ladder. The males sometimes get more restrictions and activities are looked down upon when they are going for quote unquote female roles in the workforce, as in a nurse or a teacher. This is considered to be a downward movement for men according to the stereotypes. Men are supposed to be in certain roles, women are supposed to carry certain roles in the workforce. Again, these are stereotypes that are going along with genders. There are differences in genders. In the personality traits, there are many differences in men and women. When it comes to the neuroticism and agreeableness, women seem to be um, are higher than men. Men scored less than women in this trait. When it comes to self-esteem, men tend to score higher in the self-esteem category, according to the report. Women have higher levels of benevolence and universal values. Power and achievement. Men are recording higher levels in this area for their personality traits. Women are twice as susceptible to depression in the personalities and professions. Women are more interested in professions that are people-oriented fields, where men are more leaning to thing-related professions, cars and boats or mechanical stuff. That is a thing-related preference. Or where women are more interested in people, like a human resource profession, teaching, healthcare. Those are the types of things that we'll see for women in their professions that they are more interested in these genders. Issues facing some of the gender equality and the genders of today. There are many issues being dealt with still today, as in the past. We've seen a lot of different stereotypes growing up. I have seen them where you're not supposed to do that, you're not supposed to do this. Those issues are still present, unfortunately, in society today. The crimes against women. There are certain types of crimes that are primarily against women, such as femicide, which is the homicide of women, the killing of women, and rape. These are higher in like the Middle Eastern cultures. These are also crimes against, there's also crimes against girls where you've heard of genitalia mutilation. Some of these crimes are being committed by the family members themselves. And in order to restore the family name, for shame, if women have had sex, they've been known in the Middle East for the male family members to restore their name in their culture, they'd have to kill their women family members. Also, they've been the ones coordinating the genitalia mutilation against the girls. This is coming from their parents in order to prevent them from having pleasure during intimacy. And this was supposedly to keep them from being sexually active. and to prevent them from having to do the crimes against them as women when they're older, as in murdering the women or raping of the women. If there's a crime against the wife where they are raped, then eventually, unfortunately, the culture seems because they had sex out of wedlock, this will also lead possibly to killing of the family. And these are again are the gender issues of today. Not as much as in the United States as we are becoming pretty equal, as in my opinion we are. These are the smaller countries where there are male-dominated fields. So, what does the future hold for us? Will equality ever happen? This is something I think is more than possible. It is not just a moral issue; it makes economic sense. So, equality, economic sense for the future. The women having just the same amount of positions. As you can see, there's a 250 million more women in the workforce than there were uh, 40 years ago. We are up and coming. The genders are you becoming equal. There's more women enrolled in universities. Currently, there's men in more skilled jobs. However, with all of the women that are enrolled in the universities, we are apt to become equal or overtake that number as well. My personal belief on the gender issue is equality is there. I think we just have to look for it. Moves are being made every day. I am a female. I identify as female, although I am a lesbian. However, I do not feel less than or have I felt slighted against in any fashion. I've served in the Navy. I have worked in a male-dominated field in the security force business. And actually, 50% of the management in this business are of women. So, at my employer, at least, I see the equality all around. I don't ask for special treatment. We are all security officers, management, supervisors, and I actually look down on anyone as a woman who says they can't do that because they're a female. To me, they're just creating a bigger gender gap than there needs to be. I I am proud of who I am. I don't agree necessarily in the marching, thinking that we're unequal. I've been equal in my gender role, I think, in my whole life. The only times I was looking on the outside looking in is when I put myself in that position to do so. Here are my references for this presentation, which I hope you enjoyed. This again was the presentation on gender. Thank you for your time.